And Arsenal have a corner.
Wonder what he would say his best position is.
Anyone in the first 11, I would guess.
Yes, at the moment, definitely.
Carefully thought out corner routine, very carefully thought out. Cedric gets across the face of the goal. It came back to him, but he was losing his balance and lost the ball. And the former gunner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, leads the charge out. Typical ball carrying from him. Interchange with Robertson. Caught up with him earlier today, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. They trained at the Leyton Orient Stadium, not too far away from here. Brisbane Road. Caught up with him earlier today, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. They trained at the, again, a sort of opening really of the lifestyle, if you like, of these Premier League clubs, that they could travel down yesterday, Liverpool, stay in a hotel with confidence, train elsewhere with confidence, not a Premier League stadium. Encouraging as an exercise. Whether it works in terms of getting the performance, we'll find out. Here's Joe Gomez, who is a Londoner and normally would have a lot of family in the stadium. Torreira, good to see him back. It was a nasty ankle break in the FA Cup at Portsmouth very early in the year. Had a couple of substitute outings since restart.
I think there's a lot more to come from him in an Arsenal shirt under Arteta. Ceballos and Xhaka just developed a nice little partnership in the middle of the park, but he's a different sort of player, more tenacious, isn't he? Loves to get his foot in.
And he has a little knack, there you go, of scoring against Liverpool. Doesn't really score against anybody else, but the champions be warned. Arsenal do have in this rather troubled season, if you like, compared to bygone times anyway. They do have one stat to clutch hold of, which is their unbeaten home record in the Premier League in this calendar year. All the 3 home defeats incidentally came in December of last year. And Liverpool need to win if they're going to set new marks against Manchester City. I'm sure you've been keeping abreast with the Manchester City court ruling and the fallout from rival Premier League clubs. A couple who spoke up, certainly not in City's favour, are playing each other here tonight. Might be a bit awkward for Mikel Arteta, of course, has strong allegiances to those at the Etihad Stadium. Here's Robertson. Wijnaldum. Alexander-Arnold, who had the break from the starting 11 in the last game. They gave Burnley plenty to work with. Nico Williams actually got a start and has now played in the last 5 Premier League games and got himself qualification for a medal. That medal ceremony will be there for you to watch on Sky Sports a week tonight. It's going to be quite lavish, we understand. There's a game and then a gala afterwards, really.
Well, Arsenal conceded from a corner late on against Tottenham when the delivery was spot on, and he doesn't normally disappoint.
Yes, and then leaving out Mustafi and Kolasinac, 2 of the bigger defenders. It's headed away by Cedric. Gomez, ooh, just got away with that. Nelson nearly stole it from him. Oxlade-Chamberlain lining up in the middle, Liverpool again. Comes to Van Dijk, who can't get into a shooting position. Robertson, Salah was arm raised for ball play to the far post. Fabinho, and Arsenal survived that.
Yeah, he likes those little diagonal ones, doesn't he, Fabinho? He sets up Robertson's header the other day against Burnley. This time not quite on the money.
Well, Emi Martinez from Argentina might just be getting a call-up when international football starts again. He's been in the senior squad before, but not got a cap. But what he's been doing, as you said, Alan, before the game kicked off, he's been in excellent form. He's waiting for the opportunity. He's waited 10 years to have a run in the team in the Premier League. Been here that long. Actually, the Argentina manager is Lionel Scaloni, who Liverpool fans might remember because he was right back for West Ham in that cup final in 2006 and actually knocked a wayward ball right at the end, which led to Steven Gerrard getting the equaliser. And of course, Liverpool went on to win over the course of 2 hours through penalties. Here's Robertson. Challenged by Holding, and referee Tierney says that's a foul.
Yeah, Liverpool starting to play a fair bit of football in Arsenal's half now. Rob Holding getting nice and tight, too tight in the event. Surprised actually he fell out of contention. I gave him man of the match at Southampton and he didn't start a game since. But I think definitely he's a defender of promise.
Yes, and Socrates, who's played a lot of games in his time here, is not featured since the restart. He's on the bench again tonight. Alexander-Arnold leaves it for Robertson. And a shout of keeper from Martinez. Apparently the problem for Emi Martinez earlier in his career was he was carrying a bit too much timber. Oh, he's got away with that. Goodness me. That's about the first mistake he's made since he got into the team. And that could have flown in off Bobby Firmino.
Yeah, we've seen it happen a few times where the striker does get that little bit of luck and it ends up in the back of the net, this time clipping the outside of the post. I'd built it up too much beforehand, saying he'd been practically flawless. Certainly wasn't there.
Well, you mentioned the Southampton game. Of course, it went Arsenal's way, didn't it? Andy Nketiah stole the goal off Alex McCarthy in that kind of circumstance. Well, that will get his feet back on the ground, Martinez. Talk about timber, it hit the timber behind him. Mikel Arteta was asked about his goalkeeper and in the press conference yesterday and said he's got to keep doing it. You know, he's not the finished article yet, but he's certainly going to finish this season in goal, and we wait to see when the competition with Leno starts up again, when the usual number one is fit.
Yeah, I get the feeling that he may have surprised one or two on the coaching staff, but as Arteta says, it's not about 6 or 7 games, it's about a full season of consistency and beyond.
Well, our colleague Gary Neville always talks about having 100 league games under your belt before you're a real player. I guess that applies to goalkeepers as well as outfield players. It's a good benchmark. Here's Mane. So well past that target. Firmino. Picked up by David Luiz. Saka trying to steer it on. Gomez in a bit too quickly, hurried the pass in the end.
A stifling Arsenal though, pressing quite well, denying the home team any chance to get things going in terms of their passing.
It's only the 3rd time they've been the home team since the restart. It's their 9th game in June and July, and often the schedule has given them less prep time than their opponents, like tonight. Liverpool played on Saturday, Arsenal on Sunday. It's been a bit of a slow start from the Gunners here. Salah's offside. Mind you, they had that 48 hours ahead of Spurs, didn't they? And didn't get them the result when it was in their favour. After winning at Newcastle today, as far as the North London rivalry is concerned, Spurs might be over the hill and far away.
Yeah, that 5-point gap will feel very nice, but Tottenham supporters, I'm sure.
Paul Tierney is calling Lacazette to explain to Torreira. He wants the Uruguayan to just calm down a bit. And again, Alexander-Arnold has come across. And left the last one to Robertson. He leaves this one to Robertson as well. It's a very good leap by Holding. Lacazette's caught on the edge of his own penalty area. Well, he's caught in a different sense in the end. He solved the problem and got bowled over.
Yeah, nervous moment there for the centre forward, giving it away. It's not where he wants to be playing his football, Lacazette.
Virgil van Dijk playing his 200th game in English football. Some of them for Southampton. Reece Nelson's been knocking on the door since he came back from his loan last season in German football.
Yeah, he's been up and down, I'd say, Reece Nelson. Never really done enough to win a run of games to impress the manager. But he's a young boy still.
I think the youth in the squad has impressed the new manager. With Saka, of course, Willock as well, and Ketia, they've got very high hopes for him. He's suspended after that sending off against Leicester here, which Arsenal appealed against but got no joy.
Surprised they did appeal against that one.
Well, they didn't get any further punishment, which you can get from what they term, I believe, a frivolous appeal. I think it was because it was given as a yellow card first up. Maybe they could have got the 3-game ban, cut back to 2. It's happened before. Robertson. Now Van Dijk. Wijnaldum. Mane. These front three have done some damage to Arsenal in recent seasons. Back with Gomez. Now Oxlade-Chamberlain. Clever movement by Alexander-Arnold. A good interception by Granit Xhaka. There's been some talk in these parts over the last 48 hours or so that Arsenal could look at Liverpool as a model, really, that they were not perhaps in the most consistent of shapes until they invested in the right kind of centre-back, the right kind of goalkeeper, and that things have all fallen into place elsewhere. It's not quite a quick fix, but it's a blueprint for a fix.
Most definitely.
Those two really highlighting it. But they don't come cheap, Alan, do they?
No, they don't. But it's important that everybody's singing off the same hymn sheet. And there's a suspicion at Arsenal that that might not be the case, as opposed to Liverpool.
Wijnaldum. This time, well, took a little bit of time, Emi Martinez, but he got it away safely. Here comes Firmino's. And he got that fluke goal, and Mane gets a proper goal. And Arsenal have been on the back foot, and now they're a goal back.
Well, they've been totally dominant for the first 20 minutes. No real surprise that now the side that's got the first goal, Robertson, has been bombing on. He's had the freedom quite often of that left flank and he's got the time to just swivel. David Luiz cannot get across, and that's a simple finish. Looks easy, but there's an understanding between these Liverpool players.
It's another assist for Robertson. It's another goal for Mane. It's the Liverpool recipe. And a happy return to the ground where he first played in English football. 2014, a League Cup tie here with Southampton. Oh, man. Hesitation from Alisson. And Nelson couldn't pick out Lacazette or Pepe.
Oh, what a chance that was. He wasn't even close, really, to picking out Pepe. I think was his target.
Here's Mane. And a bit of a deflection on the shot. Martinez hung on. Liverpool win it back again, high up. Firmino has begun very brightly. Oxlade-Chamberlain, he'd love to get a goal here. Looking to set one up. Salah going in, corner.
Just been a dozy start for Arsenal. Slower to the ball than Liverpool 9 times out of 10. Might have been flagged off, but he's got the time to lift his head. I don't know in the end what he did try and do.
Well, Liverpool so good in the air. They've scored 16 headers amongst their Premier League goals this season. Top of the list is Van Dijk with 4. And there he is. We've been talking, Alan, about Arsenal making the changes with Saturday in mind, but I think they've also made changes with the general level of stamina, and the players reported back after the defeat to Tottenham, obviously crestfallen emotionally and pretty whacked from the schedule so far. As I said earlier, a lot of away games.
I mean, of course, a lot of games in quick succession are going to be tough, but even tougher because the adrenaline's not pumping in the same way with these players, so you can't really push yourself through quite so easily without supporters in the ground.
Firmino, Mane wants it. Well, it's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain who's trying to get it back to Mane. But you have to hand it to Liverpool. It's been an excellent first half of the first half, and you know the job's done, as we said earlier, in winning the title. But they're playing as if this game, the points that can be accrued, would actually win them the championship. Mane. Or bang in the face to Herrera. Might have been the guilty party. He's trying to follow Sadio Mane again. Hung up by Robertson. Met by David Luiz. And then goes out off Mane's head.
You wouldn't fancy Torreira in an aerial challenge with Mane, would you, really?
No, but I guess he's probably quite skilled at knocking him at the right moment off his path towards the ball. Anyway, it's only 1, but it's been very good from Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp, who talks about consistency of performance, well, he's getting it here.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big gulf in class between the two teams. You've only got to look at the table to realise that, and we've seen it out on the pitch in that first 20-odd minutes. There's only been one team in it. There's a muscle memory about this Liverpool side, isn't it?
He has all the energy of a young manager. And he knows his team have got big problems here, but it's only the 1. He played in Merseyside derbies for Everton, Mikel Arteta. Scored a goal in a Merseyside derby, got sent off in a Merseyside derby. Arsenal were the team that had less of the ball on Sunday at Tottenham and went one up but lost. So maybe they can find that formula of coming back that Mourinho's men did. Mane. Alexander-Arnold. Usually plenty of goals around when these two teams do meet. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Salah! He's still chasing what would be a third consecutive golden boot, but this particular boot tonight wasn't quite close enough to that cross. Fabinho. Tierney lets it run.
I've rarely seen Arsenal pass the ball so poorly as this first 26 minutes. I know Liverpool are so adept at closing down the spaces, but they haven't got going at all, the Gunners, with the ball at the feet.
Can't recall an involvement for Pepe yet. Nelson had that chance which he said might have been judged offside. He was looking for Pepe in the middle.
Well, they're playing quite narrow, aren't they, Pepe and Nelson, to allow the full-backs or the wing-backs to get on the outside, but that just hasn't happened so far. And as a result, quite often Nelson can't get across like he did there because he is in field.
Here's Robertson. Wijnaldum. Oxlade-Chamberlain. Shot might be on this time, and it was spotted by Granit Xhaka. Drops for Salah. He's saying it came off the Arsenal man.
Yeah. Very quick to anticipate, but yeah, might have just been off initially.
Again, Arsenal can't get out of their own half. Robertson stepping in. When we talk about recruitment, we're talking about Alisson and Van Dijk, but what about getting Andy Robertson? A bargain he's turned out to be, the Scot from Hull City.
Yeah, can be done, can't it? And I think that's probably the route that Arsenal should take. They haven't got lots of money to spend, and Arteta undoubtedly is a good coach, capable of improving younger players on the training pitch.
Why haven't they got lots of money to spend, Smudge? Is that financial fair play? Here's Cedric.
Not been in the Champions League over the last few years. They've got a high wage bill.
Well, of course, one with the highest wage is Edu, who is part of the management structure here. But Mesut Ozil still not deemed quite right. I understand he might be fit. He's been training again. He might be fit for maybe a cameo at Wembley on Saturday in the last two league games.
I'm not sure there's anything wrong with him, actually.
Fair enough.
It might just be a line that has been spun.
Certainly nothing wrong with Matteo Guendouzi of a physical nature anyway. He's not sorted himself out as Arsenal try and get in, and Robertson gets a bit lucky then. Goes out off Nelson for a goal kick.
Those Liverpool defenders haven't had to turn and chase a little ball just behind them. Not bad effort from Xhaka, that.
Holding's header. But the signing of the likes of Tierney, it looks a very good acquisition, I guess. Maybe Arsenal's equivalent of Robertson, fellow Scot.
Yeah, very much in the same mould. Old school, gets on with it, loves a tackle.
Cedric's just signed a 4-year deal, having come initially on loan from Southampton. But it is just getting those, what you call special players. Certainly a special central defender might be the target if they can find one in their price range. They are not always easy to find, and if you find them, will they come to you? That's, without European football, might be difficult. Here's Pepe. First real run from his favoured right side. Herrera, now Cedric. Important for Arsenal to stay in the game here, and like I said, gives it the full hammer. But the flag did go up.
He looked off by some distance there. Frustrating half an hour for Arsenal centre forward, blimey.